Hello again. We're going to do another solving an indice. So this time it's not as obvious as the previous example that I did, but if we break it up and look at this here and this here, we could break it down to have the same base, and then it might become clear. So this 9 to the x, which is here, is going to be broken down into 3 to the 2x plus 9. We can also, with this term here, this power could be broken up into 2 times 3 to the x times 3 to the 1. Let's simplify that and see if it turns into perhaps a quadratic. So we've got 3 to the x, and we can put brackets around this and make that squared, plus 9 equals, now 3 to the 1 is just going to be, this 3 to the 1 here is just going to be 3. So we can multiply this 3 and the 2 and get 6 out the front of 3 to the x. Now we can rearrange this and you'll see that it then becomes a quadratic like our last example. So we've got 3 to the x squared, take 6 times 3 to the x plus 9 equals 0. Okay, now in order to solve this, we'll need to set this, the 3 to the x, to another unknown. Okay, so I like to use m. As I said in the previous example, I wouldn't set 3 to the x being equal to x, because then you could end up getting yourself confused. So we've got 3 to the x, and I'll say let 3 to the x equal m, and then we can substitute that m back in and we'll have a quadratic. So we're going to have m squared, take 6m plus 9 equals 0. Now this quadratic is really nice and simple because our a value is 1, because that's the coefficient in front of the m squared term. So I'm going to do up my little table. So we've got our a times c will be 9, and our b term will be -6. Now, as before, we want to get factors that multiply to give 9 and add to give -6, and that'll be -3 and -3. Now, because the a term is 1, we can go straight into our factors. We don't have to use the grouping method. So we've got m take 3 times m take 3 equals 0. Now, we know that m take 3 is going to be 0. Therefore, m will be 3. Okay, now, we haven't finished yet. We've got to substitute m back in to find what x is going to be. So we know that 3 to the x from before is equal to m. 3 to the x is 3. Let's go up here. We've got 3 to the x. We want to make the bases the same, and we know 3 to the x is 3 to the 1. Therefore, x equals 1.